What's up, everybody? Happy September. Good afternoon. Today, we're going to cover the benefits of attending expos. This is a pretty good one. Excited about this because we're definitely coming into a busy expo season. So we're going to give a high level of some of the benefits of attending expos, how to network properly at expos, some of the do's and don'ts, training motivation and why it matters, and giving you a breakdown of why the money's in the follow-up. So some of the benefits of attending expos, pretty straightforward, right? It raises brand awareness. Even if you're not vending at the expo, just being present and really having a presence at the location, networking with some of your peers and colleagues, handing out business cards, digital cards, etc. These are all great benefits of attending expos, as well as just forging those professional business relationships. One of the cool things is that you really get to learn how to identify and convert your ideal demographics. So the coolest thing we've found that our roofers take away from expos when they do it properly is their ability to learn from competitors in a non-competing market. And this is what I mean. The number one thing a CEO, and we'll hit this several times in this webinar today, the number one thing a CEO wants to know is what are their competitors doing, specifically the top competitors. And this is a way to find out what some of the top roofing companies in the country are doing without them being in your backyard. So if they don't have an intrusion, you'll find the roofing community is very small. If they don't have an intrusion or fear of you competing with them because they're not in the same market as you, they'll happily give you a hand if you ask them. You're just going to ask for help, right? Don't position them as though you're trying to be sneaky. Just straight up ask them, look, I have this challenge. I'm dealing with this situation. How do you guys handle or address that? And you'd be surprised how open and willing this other individuals are to help. So in addition to that, you can also get a competitor analysis if you have competitors from your market at these trade shows, or just to see what some of the other companies are doing. They always pack a great education and training specific to the roofing industry, as well as cool keynote speakers. That kind of segues into the motivation, right? Sometimes the individuals on your team would never get a chance to see a John Maxwell or a Tim Tebow like the guys down at RoofCon this year without you taking them. So when you're actually taking them and you're giving them the benefit of attending, you're giving them a lot of exposure, and that motivates them, right? There's a lot of cool things you can do because people are trying to make sales at trade shows. So you can get some promotional discounts to give you a better rate on certain softwares or things you might need throughout the course of the year. Again, networking, great opportunities for follow-up, and it really helps build your company culture. Going a little bit further on this with raising your brand awareness, I always like this statement that being present gives you an opportunity to be present. Here's what I mean. When you're present at the expo, you're actually putting your phone away. You're not on your email all day. The business isn't giving you those daily interruptions that it normally would. And if you've instilled a great team on your staff, then you know that the ship should be able to handle with you guys being a few days away, right? So be present at the expos. Don't be the guy that's in the middle of a keynote speaker walking out and taking a call because you got a fire drill going on at home, right? Appoint people to run the ship while you're away, because that could be the one critical thing that you missed that you really needed to be a part of. So definitely be engaged while you're there and be present while you're there. It gives you an opportunity to learn more and therefore put yourself as an expert in your marketplace. Being an expert, of course, allows you to close deals easier because you earn more opportunities out of trust. The more opportunities gives you the opportunity to earn more money, right? So it all kind of goes together. I can say this factually that we work with a lot of roofing companies, and the roofing companies that do the very best, I mean the ones that are way out in front, they attend trade shows and expos on a regular basis, right? It's kind of part of their marketing, annual sales, team building conference. It's in the budget. They have an allocation. It's 10,000, 20,000, travel, hotels, all in. They're going to take their team to one or two shows a year, and they're going to be different, right? And they're going to go to different shows because they're all run a little bit differently. A lot of similarities, and they feed off of each other. This is a great way for you to really budget in being present at these trade shows. When you think about the non-competitor analysis, again, that's somebody that may be similarly sized, that's thriving in another market, and you're kind of curious on what they're doing. If they're not a direct competitor, you're in a good spot to ask them a question. So like I said, the top CEOs, they really want to know, what are my competitors doing? And this is going to give you exposure to other people that are vending. What does their branding look like? How are they integrating video? Do they showcase their strategies? What are they displaying? Because those are normally the things they're most proud of, and therefore That's their big push. So when you're here, be mindful, take pictures of booths, get ideas, get inspiration, really learn from being present. Learning from your competitors what to do and what not to do, that's the quickest path to success, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a surprise. You should copy and steal everything, the case methodology. If you're in a market, somebody else across the border isn't coming in, you're in Tennessee, they're in Kentucky, not coming into your backyard, but you have a relationship, ask them lots of questions. Don't get caught up in the fact that you think you know it all. Be resilient on asking them questions and learning from them. You could walk away from one of these expos with a mentor or a coach. And there's a lot of good paid coaches out there, right? I can't rave enough about our friend Sean Bryan or Roof Hustlers. Guy kills it, man. He's out coaching for roofing companies every single week in different parts of the country. It's amazing. The guy has hustle in his name and he really does it. There's a lot of great coaches out here, right? Breakthrough Academy is another good one. I mean, whoever you choose to use, you're making an investment in it, but you could also walk away with just a mentor. Somebody's not a formal coach or charging you for anything, but just a relationship you made. Maybe somebody's at 20 million and you're stuck at 5 trying to get 10. They've been there, done that, and they can kind of give you some free guidance. A lot of things are going to go into play in these relationships, but they're never going to happen if you don't get there. So that's a good segue into how to network at a networking event. Relationships and networking at the expos. Connected roofers, guys, they always scale faster. I know here we put they typically do. They always do. If you've got connections, you have the relationships, people to lean on, your phone is your friend, and you need to not be afraid to use it. This is going to give you a chance to meet people in your space that aren't direct competitors, more willing to share best practices. We've covered some of this stuff, but like I said, you could walk away with a very valuable relationship that could pay for itself 100 times over. You're just not going to know if you don't show the willingness to step out of your comfort zone and go to one of these expos. And there's a lot of good ones, guys. There's Win the Storm, there's IRE, there's RoofCon that we're going to have a big presence at this year. There's Best of Success. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. The roofing industry is not short on talent, not short on good opportunities to learn. One cool tip and trick on networking at expos, get a digital business card, one that you can just swipe your phone and your contacts on. It's like a link tree for your phone, right? So your Instagram, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your email, your phone, your office phone, your website, it's all there. Tighten up your digital business card and then hand it out like crazy and ask for people's contact information because you're going to want to follow up with individuals. If you are a vendor, you need to make connections via LinkedIn and email in advance. Schedule a coffee or a beer, right? Say, hey, look, you're on my radar. I really want to meet with you. Can I buy you a beer? Let's set up a time to meet. The one caveat is if you do that, people are going to be willing to meet with you because they want to network. Don't drop the ball. Be organized. If you set up an appointment with somebody in advance, make damn sure that you're willing to attend that appointment and be where you say you're supposed to be, even in the midst of all the chaos, right? Because if you ghost somebody that you reached out to, that's like the ultimate discredit, and they're just not going to waste any time with you anymore. So, segueing into training, education, motivation. It's an opportunity to meet real industry experts and interview for training. Like I said, Deshaun, Dimitri, Bruce, myself, there's a lot of good ones out here, but giving your team the ability to be present gives them a sense of worth and investment that you're making into them in your company. You want your employees to be invested in your company, and they're not going to do that if they don't feel like you're investing in them. It also gives them the perception when surveyed, they say they feel like they have a little bit more hand in the decision-making process because you are still an SMB, right? If you're 5, 10 million, you're a small business by and large. So what that means is if you take your top 5 guys and girls from your team and you put them on a trip to Orlando or Vegas or Phoenix or wherever, and they're at this event with you for a couple of days, they feel that extra sense of like, yes, I was selected, I'm here, I need to maximize this opportunity. I can't wait to learn a lot when I take this back to the home office, home base, and we get out there and start banging doors, dial up our marketing, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of live expo training and a lot of additional follow-up training that you can get at these expos. Don't buy all the shiny new objects and don't get caught up just buying into people immediately. I always suggest meet them at the expos, follow up with them, and then meet them in a different setting and see if their demeanor changes. See if they're just trying to slam you for the sale. See if they really have the case studies and the follow through and wanting your business. These are some things that you can judge people in different environments and make a wise decision, because it is going to cost you money, right? And you want to make sure that if you're going to spend 100 grand a year on coaching, you could spend it unwisely and have a bad coach, somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, they just want it through cash, or you can spend it very wisely, right? And maybe find a great coach that can change the entire trajectory of your business. You don't know what you don't know, though, so don't be arrogant. When you go into these expos, have an open mind, be willing to learn, be willing to listen. Guys, there's so many people out there doing it better than us. There's so many people out there doing it better than you. You got to be real with that. You cannot think that you are the best of the best, the cream of the crop at all times, because that's the type of mentality that gets people stuck, where you just think that you know it all and you can't get out of your own way. Go into these things with an open mind, absorb the training. And then again, just real quick, the money's and the follow-up, guys. So some things that you can do that work well and some things that don't really work. You need to prioritize and itemize your leads going in. Leads, not in the sense of you're going to sell a roof. Leads and who do you want to meet with, right? What's your hit list of target audience members that you want to meet with at the trade show? Automated follow-up campaigns, right? You need to make sure that you're touching base with them until you get back in front of them after the event. Pick up the phone and call them within a week. Don't wait 6 months to call somebody and just say, hey, you remember me? We met at the water cooler at the IRE in Dallas 6 months ago. Like, be relevant. Call them within a week, make something happen, or don't waste their time. Connect with them on social media. Connect with them via LinkedIn, maybe on Facebook, and then start showing them some love. Follow their stuff, right? Hit the like button, match the love on Instagram. Give them some appreciation on LinkedIn. This goes a long way, because at the end of the day, all of these conglomerates, even if they're a $50 million roofing company, it started out with a guy or gal on their phone. And they set up their social media account. They still have access to it, get notifications, connect with them, follow them. The owners of the company still watch this stuff closely. Here's some things that cause people to fail at expos. They go to an expo, all these great intentions, and there's no follow through. They're afraid of rejection, or they're unorganized and they don't get back to the people that they say. There's a lack of commitment to maximize the return on investment in the expo. They're going about it not looking at my attendance gets me a return. They're just going out at like, hey, I want to go attend and it's going to cost me money and that's just an expense. Even if you were just attending and you're not a vendor, you can make a significant return on your expos if you maximize it. I've traveled the country, all 4 time zones, for many years, attending expos and trade shows, some where we would have events, some where we would not. The most critical thing I learned early on is that in order to maximize my investment and return on my time, I needed to be willing to follow up. Make no excuses. They don't delegate, right? So you go and you say, hey, I'm too busy because I'm in a company. Put somebody on it. You have an office manager, a project manager, a sales manager. Put somebody in charge of setting meetings for you, for the people that are critical to your success if you meet with. This can make the difference between the success and the failure of a company for your next year. So I recommend you go. We as a team of Best Food for Marketing recommend you maximize your return though. And that really comes down to your commitment to this process. So we hope this was helpful, guys. We're really excited about the opportunity to see you at some of these expos coming up. Come check us out. We're going to be at RoofCon 2022, November 7th and 8th in Orlando, Florida, booth 1369. We got a big plot. You can't miss us. And if you have any questions, we're going to open it up now.